Hello and welcome. Welcome to today. Today's day 3 of our live 3-day series. This is all about how to grow your brand. So, in growing your brand on day 3, our big topic today is how to stay consistent. And so, when we talk about consistency, what we're really looking at is the consistency of the brand itself. So, how do we stay and continue to stay true to our brand and unwavering, unless it's intentional, of course? And then also, how do we stay consistent by consistently showing up? I feel like this word consistency is definitely overused in the fact of people are saying, like, be consistent, meaning show up every single day. And there is more depth to that word than just showing up every single day. So, again, we want to maintain our brand. But when we say consistently show up on social media, what we really mean is to establish a cadence, and a cadence that drives expectations. So, such as if you're going to do one live per week, then it would be consistently at the same time as if you were hosting your own show, and people can expect to show up at that time. Now, here's the beauty of it, because psychology is always involved within marketing. When we start to do something every day, such as maybe we have a mindful Monday, and that person establishes a habit of at lunch on Monday, they tend to tune in and watch Mindful Mondays, it becomes a habit. They then crave it, they expect it, and we become a trusted part of their Monday, for example. So there is this power of habit that we're also implementing within our brand so that people expect, they desire what it is that we have to offer. And so we want to maintain also the consistency of our brand as far as the authenticity of it. So if we're showing up with Mindful Mondays and people have an expectation of how much depth is going to be given and how much wisdom and what they're going to really gain from it every Monday, then if we were to waver and start changing that up or not staying authentic to that brand that we've established, people either might drop off, or maybe it's for the better, and maybe that's a good thing. But most likely, more than not, we waver and we change in itself, because I do change management within the corporate world. Change creates uncertainty. So unless it's a positive change, it's a change for the better, which, depending on who the target audience is, like, we need to do research before we change things. So even if you think you're changing for the better, there still needs to be done some market research to make sure that that's what your target market views as better, and not just you as the creator. So that's also a little side tip. And you can do that market analysis by just surveying your email list or chatting with a couple of people that you know are your top viewers or things of that nature, if we continue with that example. All right, so market research is really important before you establish changes in your business, especially if something is going well. If it's something is going well. And you can also do that market research before you establish something as well. So we should always do some research to make sure that the effort we're going to put in is going to be of value. Now, our big topic today is staying consistent, staying true to our brand, allowing that to consistently show up in the same manner, as well as what does it mean to be consistent on social media. So, when we're being consistent on social media, it's really helpful to, again, establish those 4 pillars that we've been talking about in the past couple trainings. Those 4 pillars can be of your values, they can be key topics. And so those key pillars are really, really important. But how do we discover what those 4 key pillars are? Well, we first need to start with our big overview plan of where we want our business to go. And that's what I always preach. And I see so many people miss out on this part. Even larger organizations sometimes forget about this part. And that's your vision and mission statement. And the vision and mission statement should be reviewed. If it's not a strong vision and mission statement, it needs to be strong. It needs to be compelling. It needs to be compelling for you. It needs to be compelling for your employees. It needs to be compelling for your clients. So that when they read that, it's almost like they get goosebumps. They're like, oh, yeah, like it's motivating, it's inspiring. So, a vision and a mission statement is extremely important when you're looking at where's the company going? What's the vision for the company? And once you've achieved that vision, you then make another vision. What is your mission? How are you going to show up? So, the vision is what the vision is, the mission is how we're showing up. So, what we want to accomplish, and how we're going to show up. Okay. That is going to be your anchor, your base, that anytime you get lost, you come back to that. But more importantly, what really, really helps you is to have a blueprint. And that's where you've done the strategic planning. You've done the marketing plan. You've done the business plan, such as creating your vision and mission statement. You've outlined who your target market is. You know how you're going to get prospects. You've laid all of this out. You have your business plan, or a lighter version is a blueprint. And as that's laid out, that is something that you can keep coming back to so that when you do get lost, you have your anchor to pull you back in to be grounded. And we need that to help us stay consistent. Otherwise, what we tend to do is we ride the roller coaster ride. And when we're riding this roller coaster ride, it's really exhausting and it causes a lot of burnout within our business, within our how we're showing up, because it's like we're starting from scratch all over. We're starting from scratch. We're having some great success. We're not feeling so great. We start to get a little lost because we're too far away from that anchor. And then we have this plummet. And then we stop showing up on social media. We stop showing up with our brand consistently. And then we come back down and we have to touch base with the blueprint. And then we do this all over again. Now, if we don't have that blueprint, we're starting over all over again. And so you can see how this gets really exhausting and we start to question ourselves. And we might even say, like, what am I doing? Why do I keep doing this? Why is this not working? And if we can instead have that blueprint, instead of being here at creating it all over again, we're a little bit above. And then we can not stray so far away. And so our curve gets a little bit lighter. Now, we still will have that curve. I'm not going to disillusion you that having a business is easy. Having your blueprint keeps you more stable and it helps you have this curve that's not as dramatic. Okay. And that is what we want in our business. Now, this curve will naturally happen anyways because we're going to have campaigns, we're going to have attraction, and we're going to have, some fun stuff going on in our business, whether we're having a launch and then we're working with clients. So those things, this wave should happen, but this wave should not be this roller coaster ride. And so things that we should notice is in our business to try to prevent this roller coaster ride, which is not consistent. This is far more consistent. Okay. We think about like math class, statistic classes. We want that curve to be as close to the baseline as possible. Now, how we do that is we keep a cadence, and a cadence also helps prevent you from the burnout as well. So maybe it's you set a cadence of the first day of every month, I'm going to change my profile photo, or I'm going to update the banner in the background, or something along that lines. You can always set up a cadence as far as how you're going to refresh. And those refreshes are important for the algorithm. Now, we don't want to update our profile photo so that it's dramatically different and people don't recognize us. But it is something that's like, oh, is that a new profile photo? Oh, that's cute. Maybe you just have something with a different shirt on. Now, by all means, the profile photo is not the one that you have to update all the time, but the banner can be updated very easily. You might go in, and if you're on LinkedIn, maybe you refresh, write a new article, the little description that you can put underneath, like your hey about me. You might refresh that, update that, make sure that still is where you're at, because hopefully you should be growing too. You as a person, as an individual, you as a company, you should be growing. You should be evolving. And so if all of our stuff is staying the same on those, and we're not changing it up, we're not refreshing it, we're not improving, we're not growing, then we're not showing our clients that we can grow too. Okay. We want to evolve in our career, right? We don't want to stay in the same position, making the same amount of money, doing the same routine every single day. Most of us don't. Now, there might be a select few out there that wants that, but I know I'm not one of those people. I want the growth, and most of us do. And most of us who want to be the CEO of their own business, most of you all do want that growth. And you know that self development is extremely important. And you should let people know that you are developing, okay, for your personal brand and as your business. So we will change things up occasionally, but it stays within the same guidelines, it stays within the same brand, meaning when we talked about yesterday of what are those values that you want your brand to emanate? What is that feeling that you want to give your clients? If your clients were to write a review about you, what would they say? Those are the things, that is what makes up your true, authentic brand. Now, if I was to change things up, such as like on my page right now, the banner is in black with a little gold accent. Maybe for fall time, I change it up and I have the gold as the main part and the black as the side. You can see that creates a little bit of change, but it stays within the brand. And that's a color example. So making sure that you're staying consistent with your brand requires having your anchor. That's the main point. It requires having your anchor so that you don't stray too far away from what the plan is. And by doing that, by having that anchor, first and foremost, that anchor is your vision and mission statement. But on a larger scale, that's your marketing plan, that's your business plan. And we can do the business plan, which I recommend if you have the capacity and you have someone who can coach you on that, that I recommend that you do map out that business plan. As your business grows, you can continue to tweak it, and business plans are continuing to be tweaked. But if you want to apply for a grant or you want to apply for some funding, you will need that business plan. And you will also know as you go through that business plan where your gaps are. Now, a business blueprint is like in architecture. You would have the blueprint, it gives you a guide. And the guide is a little bit more simple than the full business plan. And so we would still at least be able to come back to that guide. And that would really make sure that we can anchor, make sure that we're reaching our target audience in the way that we've done all the research. So we're just coming back to that research that we've done and showing ourselves, hey, remember, you did all this work. You did it all. It's there. Keep coming back to it instead of starting all over and going back out and doing the research over and over and over. Or what I see a lot of people do is not doing any research. They've got an idea. They're just going to try it and see if it fails. And then they start all over and they keep trying something else. Research is important. There are whole marketing teams designed just around research. People pay lots and lots of money in the corporate world, right? For for someone to research and check in with what we're doing and making sure that's working so that we don't keep doing something that isn't working, or so that we're not trying to start all over and do something else that isn't working. Consistency is important, right? That famous quote, I'm sure you've heard it a million times. Rome wasn't built in a day. You cannot expect that you're going to go out and you're going to start your business up and you're going to be making millions in just a couple weeks. That's not how it works. And in fact, the people that are trying to sell you that are generally talking about their clients who already had been in business for a long time. They just needed a couple tweaks. They made those few tweaks, and then suddenly they had their brand new client who was not new in business, making lots of money really fast. Now, if you're starting from scratch, you need to make sure that you have this business blueprint, this business plan. You know your 4 pillars, you have your mission, you have your vision, you have your marketing plan, you know your target market, you know where you're going, right? When you have a map is useful, but it's far more useful if you actually know where you're going and where you're at. Then you can map the route. But if you have a map and you don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going, that map isn't extremely useful. Now, if you start with where am I, you can begin to look, okay, where am I going? And again, you don't know that path unless you have a point A and a point B. Okay, so you need your point A, you need your point B in order to map out your path. And that's what your blueprint does. Okay, so you need to know who's your target audience. What problem are you solving? What is the problem? What is the problem like for that target market? All these things must be known. Otherwise, if you're just creating freebies and you're just creating products and you're just reaching out and trying to contact people for sales, what's the point? What's the point? Are you just trying to do it to make a quick buck? Or are you trying to build a business or build a career? Because it's really easy for something to be taken away, for something not to work. And then where are you left at? If you have a brand, then you always have something to come back to. If you have a reputation, you always have something to come back to. And you need to make sure that you are in alignment. You're in alignment with your brand. You're in alignment with where you're going. And we can always align those. That's easy to do. But we need to check in with it. And we need to make those pivotal checkpoints within our business. And maybe it is that you check in on the 1st of every month or on the 15th of every month, or maybe you do it quarterly. But that check-in really needs to be established as well. So not only do you need the anchor, but you need to check in with your anchor and make sure it's not sliding or moving. Okay. So things that we've talked about is how to maintain that consistency of the brand itself. But how do we show up consistently, again, with that cadence on social media? So when we're looking at showing up with a cadence on social media, we do want to map out in advance. And I used to do this. This was a big problem that revolutionized how I do things. And I've been getting more and more better, more and more improved at it as I start to do this in a lot of things that I do. Like, go ahead and map out your year. Map out your year. That way you can plan around vacations. You can plan around holidays. You don't have to be planning each and every month, or for some people, planning every week. If you have this big, giant plan, you get really strategic. And some people are like, well, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. Just make decisions. You can always change them. But if they're on the schedule, you have a better chance, and you can start to see how they flow together. Such as, I won't do that much during the summer because most people are not wanting to sit around on their phones in the summertime. Most of the time they're wanting to be outside, or they're wanting to spend time with family and go on vacations. So I'm going to use my summer to be mapping out and planning what it is, the content that I want to go into, everything that we're doing the rest of the year. So you start to understand your ebbs and flows and you start to use them to your advantage. If you know, like, oh, like, I looked back at last year, and yeah, last year I didn't have that many sales during that time. Great. Use that to your advantage. Don't beat yourself up and feel like you're failing. Use it to your advantage. And I always teach about the seasons. I won't go into it today, but the seasons definitely play a role in how we function. And I know I have some friends, and I've done this before with like even doing it with the ebb and flow of the moon. So like on the new moon is more resting, and on the full moon is more action. And there's some science around that, some metaphysical science. So that's a fun way to look at things too. And you can do that even if it's just to use that again as another anchor. So that being said, establishing your cadence, looking at how often are you doing lives? How often are you doing campaigns? How often are you doing launches? And so a launch and a campaign are very similar depending on which industry you're in. So you would want to go live, spike your algorithm, let people know what's going on. And if they know to look out for that launch every month, or if they know to look out for that launch every other month or whatever it might be, if they get bombarded with your campaign, then maybe the following week is that follow-up week for you. And so you don't have to post as much. You can also use tools, scheduling tools, such as maybe you want to post a quote every Friday. Well, go ahead and map out all the quotes that you want to use. And if you have your game plan for all of those months, that makes it really easy too. So, like I'm going to post more quotes about gratitude during Thanksgiving time. But if you are, let's say, promoting, my brain is not working for a moment. If you are promoting project management training, which is what I do with one company, if you're promoting project management, then you would be finding quotes about organization and management and managing change and communication. And so I would know to look for quotes. I could find 20 quotes and I can schedule those all for Fridays. So if you pick a theme and allow yourself some consistency, you will see that the consistency actually provides you simplicity. Consistency will actually provide you simplicity, and it'll make your life so much easier. So if you do choose to do one thing on Monday and one thing on Tuesdays, like that allows you to go ahead and plan all of those out. And then you might have one day where you do need to play a little bit more with it. That's okay too. So this is not a set in stone, black and white kind of thing. There is a little bit of gray and the ability to customize it to your needs. So that's where we can utilize those tools. Hootsuite is a really good one. If you are a Canva person, which I definitely love Canva, shout out, props to all the Canva people. You can schedule within that. Hootsuite allows you to cross post. And then again, going live. We're on StreamYard today. And it has a lot of additional tools, but maybe you just want to use Zoom. So you don't have to go out and get new tools. You don't have to go out and get a new microphone if you don't want to. Use with what you have and just start. Just starting is always the best policy. But do something that is doable, such as if you're posting quotes on Friday, you know that you typically might not work on a Friday here and there due to holidays. Great. All of those are still scheduled for you. If Mondays are a day where it's a little bit harder to do things, make Monday a day that you schedule everything out to. And then pick the days, Tuesday through Thursday, typically people are online a little bit more. So those might be the days that you focus on. And then again, know your 4 pillars. And know that you can also repeat. I tell this to people all the time. Oh my gosh, you can repeat. You can use the same posts last January and use them again this January. Why? Because people don't really remember them. And if they liked them, they'll love seeing them again. Okay. So you can pick these themes. Pick a theme for each month. Pick some ideas for each month. Pick, within those categories that limits you down, which is a good thing. And then you can pick 4 weeks worth of content. And then if it fits into those columns, like make it easy on yourself. Now, we also want to add that variety. So, how do we add variety? What I call this is my posting with purpose. So, when we post with purpose, we're looking at giving them value. We're looking at giving them a behind the scenes look. We're looking at giving some engagement. So, like a this or a that, or an asking a question, having a survey. Maybe you want to give them an industry update. Let them know what you're doing. Inspire them a little. And so we want to refrain from doing the same thing all the time, right? Like I wouldn't want to just do lives all the time. Why? Because not everyone's going to click on it to listen to it. Some people need to see the posts to know what it is that I'm talking about, to know that it's worth the time to click on the video and actually listen to it. So we really want to meet this like adult learning audience in all these variety of forms. What are the different ways that people like to learn? Sometimes it's an activity, more hands-on. Sometimes it is a video, just watching and listening. Sometimes it's reading. So looking at all these different ways, create some little infographics so you can break down complex issues for people. Show up for people and meet them where they're at. You can still represent your brand. And of course, we want to be consistent in how we're doing that as well. People build expectations. So allow yourself to meet them with those expectations so that you can go with the flow rather than trying to go against the flow. Do what works well and then do something consistently about it too. Remember that you need your blueprint or your business plan in order to anchor yourself so that you can keep coming back to that. That will help you show up consistently. All right, so that's what we have today. Thank you for watching this 3-day series. And then I'm going to invite you, if you do need some help establishing your blueprint, if you do need a crash course MBA, where you want to work with someone one-on-one so you can avoid trying to figure it all out yourself, you can avoid all of those fails as much as possible, or speed them up. If you want to speed up your failing, instead of spending years trying to do it, you'd like to get it done this year. You'd like to get your business up and going this year. Then I suggest that you're going to need to get with someone, join a program where you can establish your blueprint. And so I am offering this. We have a Tuesday night meeting, and then we have a couple other meetings that are a little bit more customized for other people. And so we have our mastermind group where we work through this. And then, of course, you also get some one-on-one. We're going to map out high ticket offers, low ticket offers, map out your marketing plan, help you get your vision and mission statement planned out, learn how to prospect, how to create freebies, how to do your webinars. And if you are, a special case, we work with all of that too. So join us, and we have the Facebook group for those who are already in it. For those who are not, just recently retitled it to the Millionaire Marketing Makeover, which we'll be having next month. And you can check all of that out at Facebook, Izzy Nally Consulting. I thank you all. Of course, you can always reach out to me directly. I'm happy to offer up strategy calls to help you map out what you need to do to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. And if you're not sure where you want to be, we can talk about that as well. No strings attached. You can easily book a call. We can talk about your map of what needs to happen. And you can choose to do this. You can choose to create your blueprint on your own. I recommend, give it a try. Give it a try today. Sit down tonight and think about all of this and see how hard or how easy it is. And if it is super easy for you, great. Be prepared to fail along the way, whether you're accelerating it or you're moving it slow. But if you are working a day job and you are ready to leave the day job and you are ready to be doing this on your own, to follow your passion, to make that what you do, then let's accelerate this and accelerate it together with the Million Maker Business Blueprint. So you can reach out to me in the comments. You can send me a DM. I'll be happy to get you on a strategy call. Again, no strings attached. I want you to feel confident in making your dreams come true. That's why I'm here. That's why I do these. All right. So we'll talk to you later. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. For all those who are celebrating the holiday, I hope you have a great time getting outdoors and spending time with family. Bye.